Hey there, internet. Yo, what's poppin', cuz? Uh, I haven't showered in a couple days, so I look nice and greasy. I'm oiled up and ready to go and tell a story about. I think this is the first time I took like too much LSD and drove. But it was a really cool day, and so I just want to tell it because of that, because I can already tell that I've lost some of my memory of what happened that day, and I want to preserve the memory I have because it was actually a really fun time. Um, Matt, if you've seen in my previous videos, he also watches these, so shout out Matt. He was there. I think it was my first time, or my first time introducing this circle of friends to my other circle of friends, but Nate Luther was there. The bitch was there. We could just call her Sarah, I guess, but she was the bitch, bro. Nah, she was just a troubled person. And my buddy, I guess we'll call him Hayden, was there as well. So, the squad's going pretty big. Oh, there's fucking ants over there, god damn it. The squad was together, and I had just picked up like 15 tabs or something off of this guy who is currently in prison for doing some shit that he shouldn't have done. That's why I told him to. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say nothing. I didn't do nothing. All right. I had nothing to do with anything with that. Anyways, he had some good tabs, and then he had like some really good tabs. Ones that like Matt still brings up to this day. I got like these purple tabs. There had been a bunch of them in town or whatever, and they were fucking awesome. And then I also had red tabs that looked like really sketchy, and they weren't like pyramided, they were just flat gels. And I was kind of like, oh, those are probably fake, but whatever. And we all took I think we all took a full tab of the purple one, and I took a half of the red tab as well. And I actually had a good time, but I could feel that whatever two drugs I was on were not the same. And maybe it was just like 2CB and acid or something, because I was having a really good time. I remember before, so there's this spot in Folsom, which is where I used to live around, called Big Tit. It's like by Rainbow Bridge. It's like a mile walk down towards Folsom Prison, and there's these big ass jumps, and like you can climb back up, and it's really fun. And we went for like a little walk downtown in downtown Folsom to like, experience like, the trip and how we're feeling or whatever before we go over to jump off the rocks. And something I vividly remember is we're walking down and we're going back towards Big Ted, and I look at Matt. I keep trying to call him Mark because I used to, and he's like smiling so big. It's like the widest smile of all time. And I'm like, dude, you look like you're having a fabulous time, and he's like, dude, I can't stop. It's like my face hurts right now. I keep trying to like bring it back, and I can't stop smiling. That was cool. We go do the walk, and I'm kind of like in my own head about like, oh fucking, I'm gonna, I'm gonna do all the big jumps. and there's this part of the hike that's like called Vietnam, and I remember that it's just like where a creek flows through and the rest of it is really dry. And so there's this part that's like really wet and like lots of plant life growing there. We enter Vietnam and I'm kind of just like, like breathing with the plants, you know, like, oh my goodness, I is tripping right now, man. I tripping right now. Um, and keep walking, and obviously nobody wants to do big jumps on acid. Uh, there's this like little cave up there, and I remember that they were hanging out in the cave, and I kept trying to be like, no, no, guys, it's really fun. Like, okay, come on. And I think Hayden and uh, I think I already called him Nate. Hayden and Nate like went over and did their own thing on like some of the smaller jumps. Kind of were just hanging out, and Matt was like hanging inside. Was kind of trying to, or inside the cave, and I was like, "Bro, you gotta do these jumps, dog." And then I'd go do it in and be like, until you hit the ground, which I like, but I understand how like people, how you would definitely not like that normally or be afraid of doing that. Because the entire time you fall, it's like the feeling of like uncertainness. It's such a trippy thing to, and then when you're swimming as well, it feels like so cool. You're like grabbing globs of water and shit. I remember this really, really cool thing happened to me, and I think I was tripping harder than everybody else. I started like drawing lines in the universe. I was like, or this happened later. This wasn't like while we were at Big Tit. So I'll get to that more here in a bit. But we were, just having a good time. I remember I rolled a joint with a pencil, and it took me like 4 tries or something. It's really hard to roll a joint on acid, and especially when you don't know how to roll a joint. Or trying to figure that out, hitting the pen, whatever. Mark's just chilling. I think he probably went in the water or something. He's not like, and Hayden and Nate are doing their own thing. That bitch didn't take any acid with us. She should have driven, but she didn't. So the Sarah or whatever, she didn't take any acid, and I think we had like maybe some vodka or something in a water bottle, so she was just getting drunk there. She didn't even smoke weed, so really should have let her drive. But anyways, we're having a really fun day, and it's getting kind of late, and we got there at like 11 a.m. or something, like kind of late in the day, and so I was still tripping dick, and it was the plan for me to just drive because I drove tripping all the time back in the day because I was a fucking moron. I remember this day, it was particularly like tedious and scary. I was like thinking like, oh my god, I'm like still hallucinating shit. Like the lines in the road weren't making any sense to me, so I was kind of just like making sure I stayed in the middle. It's like, this isn't making sense. uh, so I'm kind of like overwhelmed, and I'm like, guys, just give me like 45 minutes. I need to just chill. And so we stop at some like park or something, and just some school, and we all go sit out. And I start doing what I was talking about. It was like I was playing VR and you could like write with the controller. I was just doing this with my finger, and then there would be a line there, and I could like walk around it and like look at it and yep, the fucking line's there still. I was like having a really good time. Meanwhile, all these people are like coming down and thinking like, this motherfucker is gonna drive us. I'm like, guys, this is so cool. None of you can see this. None of you can see that I'm drawing lines right now. Oh man. So yeah. Anyways, I remember hitting like some curb really hard on the way out of there, and Hayden being like, "Lock in!" like being terrified for completely justifiable reason. None of us should have been driving, and I had a weird ability to, but nobody should have been in that car. I figured this would be kind of a shorter video because I really don't remember the details of what happened this day, but it was such a good trip. Like I remember like my face hurt too from smiling too much, and I know we walked over the bridge at some point, and I was with Matt and Nate, and that was like pretty fucking cool. So, yeah. Sorry this wasn't more like detailed or whatever, but fucking figured I'd tell it anyways. I figured, Matt would like to see it, so record something while I'm doing nothing this morning. Anyways, leave a like or whatever. Fucking, hope you enjoyed.